What is poppin', y'all, everybody? It's your man, Clyde Boy Bales, and welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports Weekly Wednesday Predictions. We are already to the championship games. 4 teams remain, and there are 3 games left of this NFL season. Crazy enough than said that we're already here, but I mean, guess you can say there is a lot to go over, even though there's only 2 games today on Sunday. But if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and of course, I will get down to business. So 2 games, NFC Championship and AFC Championship. First off, we have the NFC Championship. We have the Washington Commanders taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Philadelphia, I feel like, is clearly the front runner. You know, I feel like they have the more experience, they have the more talent, they have Saquon Barkley, and then Washington is the team that I just don't think anybody had any idea that they were even going to make it this far with everything that they had. This was supposed to be a rebuild year for Washington. They drafted Jaden Daniels, but the fact is that Washington managed to make the postseason in his first season as a rookie. Keep in mind, the team that he has isn't even that they have some guys that are good, but this is not like Eagles level where they have all-star players. He's taking a team that you could considerably say is full of... the fact is, Washington is a lot better than what we really think they are. Now, obviously, these 2 teams are division rivals, so these 2 teams faced twice already this season. In the first game, this is a game that Washington lost because Philadelphia was at home, and they just clearly were the better team. They had the home crowd. Washington, this was just a game that you could sit there and say, okay, Washington may not be ready yet. This doesn't really mean anything. Then Washington hosted Philadelphia, and that was a game that came down to the very end. And they actually had to do this without Jalen Hurts, as that was the game he suffered the concussion that probably knocked him out for the rest of the regular season. Kenny Pickett obviously started in that game, and even though Philadelphia was in the lead, they had a chance to win it with putting the exclamation point, and it ended up being a dropped pass. They had to kick the field goal instead, and Washington went right down the field, and with a couple seconds left to go, Washington was able to get the game-winning touchdown. Great game. Now, between the 2, I love to see Washington, a rookie, taking his team to the Super Bowl in his first year. But it is impossible. I know beating the Lions was such a big deal. It was crazy the fact that Washington was able to pull it off. But against a team like the Eagles that has Saquon Barkley doing outstanding, he's just been the most outstanding running back this season. There's no doubt in my mind. A team with a great offensive line, a way better defense. As much as I want to say, maybe Jaden Daniels can pull this off, I feel like the thing is, Jaden Daniels faced a Lions team that their defense was just banged up with injuries. They're facing a Philly team whose defense is fully healthy and looks really good and is the reason why they're winning these games. As much as I love to see a rookie take their team to the Super Bowl in his rookie season, I just don't see it happening for this moment. I'm going to say it's going to be Philadelphia. I think this will be a close game that comes down to the end. But I feel like Philly just keeps coming by with these close victories. I'm going to say it will be a Philadelphia Eagles victory. Final score, 28-24. All right. The next matchup is what you would call today's biggest rivalry in the NFL. Today's version of Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning. We have the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs for the AFC Championship game. Obviously, the last time these two teams faced off in the AFC Championship game was 2020, where Kansas City was able to defeat them 38-24. Josh Allen was in his third year, a lot of promise. The very following season, we got ourselves one of the greatest, probably playoff games ever. It looked like the Buffalo Bills were going to be victorious and the Kansas City with having a 3-point lead, getting a touchdown with 13 seconds left. I thought it was over, and then Kansas City somehow managed to get down the field in third because they had all 3 timeouts somehow. They managed to get down the field and get the field goal. They went into overtime and got a touchdown to win the game. Unbelievable game. And then last year, these two teams faced off in the divisional round again. Buffalo hosted this game, but Buffalo ended up coming up short. A chance to tie it with a field goal, but Bass missed it wide left. But again, these two teams seemingly know how to face each other in the best of moments. We get great games between these two. We will always get a great game between these two. Obviously, these two teams faced off this season. Buffalo had a home game, and they managed to defeat the Kansas City Chiefs at home. Josh Allen had a great performance. That was really Kansas City's only fair loss this season that really mattered. Kansas City really, they managed to get the wins when they matter, but Buffalo, that was the only team that really beat them. So this could be tough, But if I had to pick based on history, based on experience, I just feel, even though I want to sit there and say, man, Buffalo has a chance at a Super Bowl, an appearance, that would be great. I just don't see it happening. I don't really believe Buffalo. Their defense did come through in some good moments last week against Baltimore, but I just don't see it. It's hard to pick, not refs per se, but Kansas City's defense is the reason why they're really winning games. Baltimore doesn't really have that good of a defense. Denver doesn't really, they had a good defense, but obviously Josh Allen's the better quarterback. Kansas City's defense knows how to play in these great moments, and that's what we've seen all throughout these close games. It always comes down to the very end. I feel like this game will come down to the very end. Once again, we're going to get a great matchup between these two. And if I had to pick a winner, unfortunately, as much as people would hate this, it's going to be Kansas City. But, as much as last year I picked Buffalo to beat Kansas City. I was wrong. I was obviously deemed wrong. But this time, I think Kansas City, despite losing to them in the regular season, I feel like Kansas City is going to get the win this time. It's hard not to pick against. I just feel like Buffalo's is just going to choke in high fashion, and I will take the Kansas City Chiefs to have a rematch with the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl 2 weeks later. So if you like what you see, comment below, subscribe with your thoughts, and as always, we will see you next time.